Paul Benansi, Schroeder, Fiona Barnett, all of them, from all accounts, involved in ritual abuse. The individual on screen at the moment, Paul Benansi, in this one, it is his deposition where he is suing Larry King, not the TV personality, a bank owner, for his role in abuse and the MK Ultra program. Paul Benansi did win that lawsuit, and he won $1 million and, from all accounts, has not been paid. Now, Paul Benansi has been diagnosed as multiple personality disorder. The theme of this video is about abuse victims and how to recognize them and why some people find them disingenuous. We're going to look at this one. During this deposition, he has a personality change of one personality that has not shown itself before. Now you're going to watch a little bit of this one personality, and then there's going to be a change, and then the other personality comes out.
I was confused.
Mr. Benassi, we've asked that this portion of the deposition be videotaped because of the questions and answers that you gave both to Mr. Gaines.
Now you're seeing it. He's stressed, which for multiple personalities, that's a trigger. He's stressed. He's wiggling his chair. He's flexing his mouth muscles. His brow is furrowed. He's given a side glance. He's stressed.
When he first started taking your depositions and the answers that you gave to me just prior to the videotape. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, do you recall that I, excuse me, strike that.
And then we see that falling moment. The body is starting to fall. He's not avoiding eye contact because it started from the side and just came down forward. And then watch, because this is the change.
Are the defendants...
Now we're back up. He's given her direct eye contact. Head is straight up. Chin is level. He's still in stress, which is why this personality came out.
Able to rely on the testimony that was given by you in the first 3 days that this deposition was taken as a full and complete and accurate accounting of the facts that you testified to as Paul Benassi.
Yes.
And the defendants do not have to be concerned that you will come back at another time in another personality.
And this personality is wiggling the chair but has moments to stop to give the look, that confrontational, aggressive look. I'm not going to wiggle the chair anymore. I'm going to stare at you.
And contest
the frown, the furrow. It's getting more pronounced.
The truthfulness, the validity, or the completeness of those answers.
Like I said earlier, there is some things that were omitted, and the reason is because there's one person that is involved in this lawsuit that I have not been able to question at all, and that is Larry King. And without having him around, it is impossible to put things in a complete fashion because he's not here to defend himself.
And you see how directly he talks compared to earlier.
Paul?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is Paul Benassi now the witness?
Mm-hmm.
And Paul Benassi has been sworn to tell the truth. Is that your understanding, Mr. Benassi?
Yes.
Mr. Benassi, I asked you a series of questions prior to the time that we took a break.
And you see the difference. Now, the thing about multiple personalities, my own personal thought on it, because I don't think it's complete separate. I look at it this way. You've got one brain that has been fractured into multiple hard drives. We'll make this about computers. It seems to be much more simpler for me and a lot of other people to understand. Multiple hard drives. A normal person's brain, one big hard drive. Multiple personality, multiple hard drives that are tiny. Some of those hard drives are connected to each other. All of the hard drives are connected to the body. Some of those hard drives are only connected to the body. The abused grow up with a high chance of becoming abusers, which is another element. When you see them, you think, oh, yeah, danger. They have that air. People recognize danger. This individual, obviously, there's something wrong. But he's being honest as he talks, and even with all the multiple personalities, or the fractured mind, however you want to describe it, if the mind doesn't agree, no matter who's in charge, the body won't show it. You'll see conflict. If there's conflict, two personalities dueling, then you would see the body in conflict and it would show deception. If everybody's in agreement and everybody knows the truth, and we're talking about a multiple personality, then the body will sing. The same rules apply, but instead of looking at one, you're looking at a fractured mind or one body with multiple people, just like you would look at a crowd. Let's go to the next. It's another abuse victim, David Scherter. I believe I've seen his name right. We're going to watch a little bit of him.
Oh, drugs were always used. It was always a key component to it. I think that's the reason why lighting that guy on fire who came and found us in Fremont is what destroyed my training, because I wasn't drugged. There was a momentum that they built up in fear, not only in their victims.
Now you can tell, and you can probably see it, that they've been cutting this to make it shorter in his speaking. But his body does sing with him. The other thing with victims is their body movements are smaller. They're quieter. They're not non-existent. They're just quieter, harder to see. As we watch a little further.
But the children that they were abusing, the people the kids that they were doing.
Now he's opened up his entire body. I know a lot of you like to point out where his hands are, but regardless, he's opened up. He's going to give you information completely open up to you.
Mind control with. It didn't just happen. It wasn't just like, you know, all of a sudden you're standing there and they just kill someone. There was this.
You see that? He's trying to make you understand how it works.
Building up this crescendo that they had to do. It was a big game. My dad used to wake us up in the middle of the night, beat the crap out of us, and get so excited about beating us up that we'd end up getting raped in the end.
And now this is the part where you go, is that really true? That just seems like an oddball statement in the car. When you're an abuse victim, that sounds crazy even to yourself, even when it happens. So you give the look of, do you believe me, or are you going to doubt me like he believes people will doubt him, or have others have doubted him? But when you watch his body,
and get so excited about beating us up that we'd end up getting raped in the end.
His body's with him in his movement with his head. That's that quietness. He's not tensed up in the shoulders or in the chest. His arms didn't come in as he spoke to make himself tight and still. He's relaxed. His body's just moving with the world around him. That's that singing. And to the next victim, Fiona Barnett, an Australian victim, probably part of the Australian mind control. In this film, she's gone around and she's pretty much just telling her story. She's at a gravesite where something has happened. We're going to watch her for this.
Mistress or partner or whatever of the Engadine policeman. My Uncle David Holozak.
You see a lot of hand movement on the umbrella, so she's got stress.
My father's younger half-brother. And there were at least 2 other people here. There could have been 6 to 8 people looking down on me from my childhood. I looked in the grave and there was a partially decomposed. There was a body of a partially decomposed, light-haired person. It was at least shoulder length.
So her hand is not searching where the hair was. It's where the hair was, and then her mouth follows up at least shoulder length. So we're now seeing the memory come through the body, which is another sign of truthfulness.
Blondish, pale-coloured hair. It was half decomposed. There was maggots.
Half decomposed, there was maggots. You see the head go to the side, shaking out the memory.
It was fresh. It's a body that my perpetrators had put in here and prepared. You know, here's one prepared earlier. It was all.
Then yeah, you're going to hear sarcasm out of a victim. They're used to being scorned, they're used to not being believed, and they're used to callous behavior. So they expect the response to the story that they give. They expect that response.
All ready to go.
And she's having a hard time looking in that direction, and she's still fidgeting with that umbrella.
So like I said, there was at least 6 people. They had straps, picked my body up on the straps and lowered me down into a very deep hole. They laid me face up on top of the partially decomposed body. They were chanting. They were dressed in robes. I was naked. I have a very clear memory of being lowered down and them. It wasn't quite. I can see light. A silhouette. The silhouettes are quite clear memory of being...
So she looks up on the, sorry, I went back. She looks up on the looking up. Her body is going to the memory first before the mouth finishes it off. So she's in body memory of what has happened.
Lowered down, and them, it wasn't quite, I can see light, a silhouette, the silhouettes of them. So it must have been not too dark, or it's a full moon, something like that. And they're chanting to their pagan gods. And this is a rebirth ceremony. The thing, the decomposed body.
And we're seeing the look of disgust on her face as she's remembering it and visualizing it.
Inside is called a ghoul. I was told that it would come to life once the lid was closed, or once I was in there. I believed this thing was going to come to life. They put the lid on top and it went. I believed this thing was going to come to life.
She's rolling her eyes, and then she closes them because she's irritated at her ignorance as a child of this ghoul thing in the floor or in the ground.
They put the lid on top and it went completely dark. And I thought this thing was then grabbing me and suffocating me. I was screaming my head off. I was screaming as much as an 8-year-old could scream, as loud.
And then we're seeing the twitching in the hands again.
As I could scream. I was screaming for God. I was screaming, Jesus, help me. I was terrified beyond words.
Let's go on to the next. This is another part of her testimony. We're going to listen to this.
Children haven't seen daylight. They're trapped. They held her down on the 5th level under Holsworthy.
And you said that...
All right, now we're seeing hand movement and we're seeing body movement. And one, I should clarify, she's describing being put in a cage with other children who were in cages. Go back to the body.
Held her down on the 5th level under Holsworthy.
And you said that they said to
Now her body is moving a lot. It's fidgety, stress.
you they're waiting for the light man.
Yeah, they told me that they used to get visited by the light man.
What does that mean?
And she's avoiding it, not only looking at this interview about it, she's avoiding the picture in her mind. That is crazy. You don't really see that too often, so we're going to point it out.
Used to get visited
Looking up, somewhat in the middle, so we're in pictures.
by the light man.
And we close an eye there, and then we open it and go away from the picture side of the mind. And at the same time, her body was jumping on it.
Yeah, they told me that they used to get visited by the light man.
What does that mean?
Body agrees, shake off the feeling.
They described him, and I turned around and I said, oh yeah, I know him. You know, that's Jesus Christ. They didn't know him or his name. They just...
Still trying to avoid the memory. I would put her in the same part of a fractured mind. Maybe not multiple personalities, but definitely a fractured mind.
No, those kids are the worst memory of all.
And it's coming through her voice.
I've seen some bad shit, but those kids in the cage, and I was made to bond with them, and spent a few days in a cage with them in the dark, and they'd be sitting there like a captivated kindergarten audience, you know, and I'd be teaching them about, you know, what's up there, and I was only little. What was I, 6? Like with a...
That's her mother, by the way. Her body sang with her. She really saw kids in a cage. And why does she come off disingenuous? Because the things that are coming out of her mouth sound so outrageous that the normal mind will go, reject it instantly. That's not, no. And because she's not showing the signs of fear, because when you say something that outlandishly horrific, you expect to see that person who said they witnessed this to be in complete fear. And you have to ask yourself, how much does the body and mind go through before fear is no longer a factor in their mind? And that's the other part that can make them look disingenuous. Is the fear is no longer there because you expect it. Well, live through that, you can live through anything. Is that old saying? The more you're exposed, the less fear there is. If you like to leave a like, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.